Hey Eurovision fans, I just saw the first dress rehearsal of the second semi-final of Eurovision 2024. 19 songs competed and I'm going to talk about all of them. So, let's kiki. If you're new here, my name is Tom, I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet again. I just sat in on the first dress rehearsal. Just a couple of important things for context. I sit at the back of the arena so I can see what's going on the stage. I can see two screens up on my left as well. Now, sometimes during these rehearsals, for some reason, the screens cut out. I don't know why. I think it's certain cameras that they use where they just go blank. At that point, I'm only looking at the stage, and also I can see some of the producers' laptop screens. So I can see like very, very small screens where all of them are working on their computers. So I'm kind of flitting my eyes between the three of them depending on what's being shown. That's just important context because I'm going to talk about it later, but for some of the songs, when the screens went blank, I couldn't see really what was being shown at home, which is kind of important. So these are not my finalized opinions. These are just kind of like first impressions based off of what I saw available for me to see. Okay, let's start off with Malta, Sarah Bonici singing Loop. This is fantastic. Really, really professional, very exciting, hard-hitting choreography, very complex. She's got so much to do and she doesn't get breathy. The vocals sound excellent. I'm really impressed with this. Really, the conclusion I have from seeing semi-final 2 is that it's stronger. This is really feels like a stronger show, or maybe it's more just that it's a more balanced show, because in the first semi-final, the first half was incredible and the second half was so flat. This is much more like a steady tempo going throughout the whole thing. So I feel like this is as good as Silja, if not better. It's more technically difficult because she has some lifts and some throws. They've got a cool bit with a blindfold that goes on. She sounded great throughout the whole thing, despite the fact she was doing this incredible cardio routine where she lost like 1,000 calories. So I would love if this went through. I think it looks cooler than normal for Malta as well. Usually some of their staging looks a little bit goofy, out of touch. This actually looks pretty chic. I think it looks very professional. Definitely worthy of a place in the final. Can they qualify from so early? We're going to talk about, because this really feels like a battle of the girl bops in this semi-final. We have 3 really strong girly bops. Okay, next up we have Albania. It's Best at Singing Titan. She's got a much nicer outfit. It's like this kind of teal sequined with a veil on top. It's very pretty. Still, I just don't massively get the staging. It's a collection of like contemporary dancers in nude outfits, and there's lots of nude people on the LEDs. And there seems to be this main female character who's got a shaved head, female dancer. But yeah, there's no real story here. It's just like, they just seem like kind of cool looking images. I would like if this was a shot non-qualifier, but I would be really surprised. I just wasn't getting like massive conversion vibes, as in, when I say conversion, people who don't already like the song, how do you lure them into qualifying for you? I think that's a big thing in qualifying, is not just having your core base of fans, but also getting some other the stragglers as well who haven't made up their mind. I didn't feel like it did a good job in doing that, so I would be very surprised if this made it through. But hopefully 12 points from Kosovo in the rest of the world vote could really help. I'm not sure if they have any more diaspora help really going on. I think there's a sizable Albanian population in Switzerland and maybe in Czechia, so maybe that could help. I just don't really feel like the song can really get through on its merits alone. I think it would need a little bit of diaspora help. Okay, third up we have Greece. Now this is going to be super divisive. This is Marino singing Zari. I really like this. I think it's really cool and risky. We've got this single cut where we have the steady cam on stage and it's following her around, and she's incredible because she really is on her own for a lot of this, just connecting with the camera. It starts off with a portrait like it's a TikTok video with hearts coming up. Really cute. This feels really kind of forward thinking, avant-garde. It's very different from everyone else. Some people aren't going to like this. They're going to feel like it's too empty or there's not enough going on. But for me, it's this like flowing thing where she's moving around, she's commanding the presence throughout the whole time. If she was less charismatic, I think this would fall super flat, but she is charismatic enough, so it works for me. So I actually really enjoyed this, but I think this is going to be kind of Marmite. Some people will love, some people will hate. Obviously, you need people to love you in the semi-finals because it's televote only, and you can't vote against people, so I don't think she'll have an issue in the semis. Maybe a little bit more of an issue with the juries in the final. Will some of them mark her down because they don't get it? She sounded great. Maybe lacking a real wow. Actually, there is a wow moment. There's a bit where, so we have the Steadicam dude going on, and then she lies on the ground, and we have this pan up. Oh, it's really pretty. The LEDs on the floor aren't super cool at that moment. I think it's a cityscape, but it goes through one of the lighting structures. It's hard to explain. You'll see it when you watch the semi-final tomorrow night. I thought that was a real cool moment. And then we have like some dancing and stuff like that. I like how the dancers are organized behind her as well. It looks very slick, like a fashion show or something. So yeah, I'm positive towards this, but I'm expecting other people to just not get this and just not enjoy it. Okay, next up we've got Switzerland, another kind of divisive song. It's Nemo singing the code. Now this blew me away. I thought this looked incredible. So at the start we have all the lights down and Nemo's walking around, and then they come up to this disc. I think the disc looks super expensive. Some people are saying it looks like a satellite dish. I don't think satellite dishes look that expensive and hydraulic, but okay. The way, all the tricks that they've done on the disc sliding, it's very cleverly done as well, because off camera you can see people on the stage kind of jumping on the other side to make it flip. So there's like really clever organization here, and then you have people pulling it down sometimes so that Nemo goes up and moves around. All the background has some like spinning elements to it. There's a real sense of dynamism, moving, chaos, and then you have Nemo trying to control themselves within this chaos. I think it's a beautiful metaphor for it, their story and the song, and it looks really expensive. I thought it was divine. The moment with the popra and they're spinning around on the disc is just, it totally blew me away. And I'm kind of happy because I really feel like Baby Lasagna killed it in semi-final one. Definitely the favorite to win. But I felt like Nemo really stepped up, and the songs are very different as well. So I feel like at this point in time they're going to be first and second, and it could be like a really fun nail-biting finish. But this really delivered for me. Saw other people saying they didn't like it as much. Oh, new outfit. A lot of you did not like the flamingo monster outfit. I liked it. The outfit now is a little bit less daring. It's more of a peach ruffle, or like a tulle peach colored on the top, and then there's just a simple peach skirt. It's a little bit less out there, but it still works, and we still have the dynamism. We don't have the fringe hitting the light anymore, because the kind of furry flamingo fringe hit the light really beautifully, so that a little bit of that is lost. Anyway, I thought this was super wow. Definitely qualifying, definitely can be a contender to win. There's only one first half slot left, so I hope Switzerland doesn't pull that. So one of these 10 qualifiers will pull first half, and then the rest will either be second half or producer's choice. I'll talk about the running order fully on Friday. I'll probably do a video about a grand final preview then. Okay, fifth up was Czechia, Aiko singing Pedestal. Really cool. I have to admit, I was kind of tweeting a little bit. That's the other context you need to know, is that I tweeted about all of these if you follow me on Twitter. So some of my tweets I spent a little bit more time on, and I missed a little bit of the next one. So I missed a tiny bit of this, but generally the feeling is adult, dangerous, moody. It's just got a more mature feel. This feels naughtier than everybody else, and I like that they're kind of just leaning into their niche. They're saying, okay, we've got this smaller target market, but we're really going to go heavy into it and be like our own thing. So I think that's a really clever strategy. I feel like that's what Latvia should have done, is like recognize, okay, let's go really heavy into a specific tactic on how to qualify, and that's what Czechia are doing. The revamped part where she has like the argument, they do a cool thing inside the box with all these little flashlights and whatnot, so that looks really cool as well. I think this has got a okay chance. It's really low down in the qualification odds. It's really, sorry, there's two people there now. It's really low down in the qualification odds, but I think it's a little bit underrated. I'm going to talk about later, there's a little bit of a rock battle coming up as well between this and San Marino and Norway. So I wonder, can all three rock songs get through, or are Czechia possibly going to lose out because they're earlier, and also between Nemo and Slimane. Next up we had France. It's Smthngnw Monomorph for France. So it was kind of hard to watch, so I'm being a little bit quieter because they're doing interviews there. So I was trying to watch what was going up on the screens, and it kept cutting out. So I was looking at the producer's screen, but I couldn't see it very clearly. It looks like he's doing some interaction with the camera, which I spoke about in his door performance. I wasn't particularly mad about, where he's kind of like putting his hand towards the camera. I think there might be a bit where he interacts and kind of swipes it away or pushes it away as well. Again, don't take this as definite, because they might have been playing with some new things. I'm not sure. He definitely starts on the floor. It's definitely kind of more like a zombie, has a slight zombie feel at the start. Vocals were immaculate, absolutely immaculate. And I talked to some people who hadn't seen this before, and they were absolutely wowed by his vocals. So that's the key thing. He does the bit where he stands away from the mic. Remember, my first reaction to that when I saw it in Door National Final was absolutely wow. So you've got to keep in mind that people watching this for the first time are largely going to be wow. Just a couple of choices I don't know if I agree with. The hands towards the camera, but the smoke looks really beautiful. His styling is perfect. I wasn't getting winner vibes, I'll be honest, but I still think this should do really well, because it's gorgeous. He's probably the strongest performer in the contest, one of the strongest vocally. So I just really hope this does really well. I think it'll do really well with the jury, and then the televote I'm not sure about. Okay, next up we had our sixth contender to qualify, and that was Austria. Now this one's a little bit hard. Again, I was tweeting about France, so I missed a little bit of this, but I wasn't feeling the same energy as I felt from Malta. Her style is a little bit more like slow and posy. It was a lot of posing going on. She does do some difficult lifts where she's like lifted up and thrown all around, but generally it looks like she's a little bit more passive in her dance style. It's not like Malta, which is like this hard-hitting choreography. This is a little bit more like sultry and then pose, sultry, pose, someone throws me around. So I just wasn't getting the same wow from this. The LEDs and everything look good. They look professional. It looks a lot like Marvin Dietman's style of staging. I think there were some electric pinks and blues in there. There's a lot of geometry and shapes. This is one I need to watch back tonight. I'm going to watch the jury show in the press center and to kind of formulate my second opinion. But yeah, I'm feeling like I felt like Malta won the mini battle. I felt like the car was more difficult. I felt her vocals were better. I felt the show was more interesting. The LEDs were more interesting. But I spoke to some other people afterwards and they disagreed. So I need to clarify that tonight. Okay, 7th up is Saba singing Sand for Denmark. Again, cut out quite a bit on the screen. At the start, it looks like there's some effects on her eye, and then we have some interactions in the back. She has a lot of sand, which she drops. There's a couple of things in here. There's a couple of ideas. You know, there's some interactions on her, like a beating heart effect. Stuff happens on the LED. The flurry at the end on the LEDs with the sandstorm is really, really cool. Vocally, immaculate. Super, super strong. Just not seeing enough of a like real big wow thing here. It's wow for Denmark, but not wow for the average compared to everyone else in the semi-finals. I want to believe that this can qualify, but I'm just thinking, it's possible. It's possible. I'm definitely not saying this is completely out, but I was hoping for something just a little bit more convincing. That would give me a lot more hope. 8th up, we have Armenia. This is really similar to the rehearsal pick. Lada Niva singing Jacko. If you saw the rehearsal picks, you know what this is. It's this beautiful pyramid that basically Jacko's running around. She just dominates this. Her charisma is absolutely unbelievable. A lot of close-up shots of her talking, like singing into the camera, making a connection. Feels similar to Grease in that sense of just building up this character and this personality. She sells it. It's incredible. It's a big party. There's chickens on the back LEDs. I think everyone in the arena is going to go crazy. People at home will love this. This is just pure televote bait. I think that this is going to do really well. Okay, 9th up. Now going into the second half, we have Latvia Dons singing Hollow. I don't get this. This feels like Moldova in the first semi-final. It's a collection of pretty screensavers. Prettier, actually. I think some of the elements in here look more cohesive, but there's no story, there's no event happening. It's just the circle and he walks through it and he moves forward and nothing. There's no explanation of what the song is. There's a purple tree. It's just pretty. They've gone for pretty instead of going for an art house daring interpretive piece like the music video was. So it's sad because it feels like they've gone for this kind of like slightly bland strategy instead of just saying we probably won't qualify, let's go all out. Kind of like Czechia have. Czechia are just like screw it, let's take a big risk here. Whereas Latvia are like let's play it safe and hope that 5 other people screw up and we can scrape it. And I just don't think 5 people are going to screw up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was last in the semi. But who knows? You know, vocally, Slaman is so wow that I think Don's vocal is a little bit overshadowed also. Okay, we have our second automatic qualifier. It's Nebulosa singing Fora. This basically looks like a glammed up version of Benidorm Fest. It's more luxurious. There was actually a very shocking moment in this where the dancer couldn't get their trousers off. So one of the dancers on the left, really struggling. I was watching him trying to pull them off. He almost fell over. And what happened was the moment when they reveal their bums, only one of them did it. So that was really, if that had happened in the live show, it would have been an absolute disaster because it wasn't interference or anything, so they wouldn't have gotten to go again because it wasn't like a technical issue, it was a dancer issue. God, they really need to fix that. They need to get some Velcro or something because if that happens in the final, they are screwed, absolutely. This is why I have rehearsals, iron out all the mistakes now so it doesn't happen later. Largely though, this is just a glitzed up Benidorm Fest. It looks a little bit more expensive. Maria's vocals are a little bit stronger. They're not really powerful as I was hoping. Overall, I think Spanish people are going to be proud of this. It looks cool. Some of the LEDs are really cool and expensive as well. And hopefully it gets a big buzz in the arena and comes across well on TV and can get a bit more points. Okay, 10th up is San Marino. Megara singing 11-11. This was really wow. One of my standouts of the whole semi-final. It's so fun. The color palette, the pinks, whites and blacks. Everything going on, the LEDs, the energy here, the costumes. There's a story going on where we have these wolf dancers who turn into skeletons. It's just really exciting. We've Kenzie sitting on the ground and then moving. It's just so dynamic. There's so much happening, but it doesn't feel too much or dizzy. LEDs are some of my favorite in the whole thing. We've got some interactive things where we have big wolf biting her. We have some on-screen effects with this kind of goth-looking Dia de la Muerte Kenzie. with a goth face. Really fantastic. This totally deserves to qualify. I really, really do feel like this was excellent. And it's going to get points from Spain, but I just don't think it's going to get any support from Italy. Italy doesn't tend to care about San Marino. It's a little bit of a situationship. So I'm hoping that San Marino goes through. I've seen them rising up the odds because really, really, this wasn't just me. A lot of people absolutely love this, and I'm really rooting for them because they're the underdogs. And they've done so much with like very limited resources. This is all just creativity in LEDs and costumes. There's no big expensive prop or anything. There's a little bit of pyro at the end, but no big wads of money thrown at this. Would love this to go through. That would be such a beautiful story. Also, them going through and then doing better than Spain in the final would be a scandalo. Okay, 11th up we have Georgia. It's Nutsa. No, I'm saying it wrong. It's not Nutsa, it's Nutsa. Someone corrected me on my last video singing Firefighter. This is freaking amazing. She is so professional. This looks like a VMA music video girly bop fire fantasy. So well done. The choreography is difficult. Her voice though, my god, she's running all over the place and her voice doesn't break for a single second. It is so impressive. This is Georgia going a little bit safer and more mainstream, but doing it in such a super professional way with a fantastic artist. And the result is that this just looks incredibly slick. It wins the girly bop battle very clearly for me, and I don't think that's just me. So this is definitely going through, like I'm quite sure about it. This will break Georgia's 6 non-qualification streak, and really, really well deserved. And I think it'll do well with the juries in the final because the vocals are so strong. This could be a pretty decent result for Georgia. I'm really, really happy for them. This shouldn't be a nail biter. This should go through. I hope they don't call her last, because I think it actually will be a good one to call last because of the story of them not qualifying. I have a sneaking suspicion they might get called last, but I hope I'm wrong because I love this and Georgia deserved to be in the final so badly. Okay, next up we have Belgium. It's Musty singing Before the Party is Over. This is worse than the music video, but it's better than the rehearsal clips. It's not as bad as the rehearsal clips were. He starts outside and then he walks up and he's in the microphone set, and then he comes to the front and he does a boy band moment with an open t-shirt. I don't get the decision making. The music videos was excellent. It seems like they've ditched the feeling of that, the vulnerability, the rawness, and they're gone for something that's a little bit more kind of like Backstreet Boys, Naughties feel. I feel like people are trying to convey that this is disappointing compared to the music video, so they want to put this as a non-qualifier. I still think it's going to qualify, but I kind of also wouldn't be surprised if it was a shock non-qualifier. It shouldn't non-qualify because the song is excellent. Vocally, it was better. I don't know if it's a falsetto or a head voice, but the high, I think it's a falsetto he does at the start. It sounded cleaner. It doesn't sound perfect. It sounded better than the pre-parties, definitely. And the end always sounded okay. I think that's more in his comfortable vocal range. I just feel like this is such a missed opportunity. This should be something that was contending for the win, and instead we're talking about it being a shot non-qualifier potentially. So that's sad, and it's unusual because Belgium have actually been pretty good with staging recently, but I don't know why they ditched the music video concept. Why didn't they go for something more up close like Bambi went for in semi-final number 1? I need to watch this again tonight, make a decision. Am I going to put this through as a borderline yes or no? 13th up we have 5 Noosh and Pull Up singing the drug song for Estonia. Yeah, I like this. It's fun, it feels different. It's more like a live show. He starts off in the audience and then we move up and then we have this back and forth, which is really comes across really clearly on stage that it is a back and forth tug of war of opinions. We've got the different colors popping up. LEDs are very simple. We really just got color cubes, and then towards the end we have the 6 of them on the screen doing the dance. It's really, really fun. Similar to Armenia, it's just going for like a fun vibe as opposed to like flashy visuals or wow, whatever. This is more like good time feel. So I still feel like this will go through. I feel like Armenia is stronger in that aspect because it's also got the vivacious colors. This is a little bit more like kind of cool guys vibe. Pull-Up's vocals, I couldn't hear them for the whole thing. The guy with the beard, I couldn't hear a word he said. I don't know if his mic was broken or he wasn't singing loud enough or he was protecting his voice, but I couldn't hear anything. Okay, next up we had Angelina Mango singing La Noia for Italy. This is a little bit disappointing now. So the LEDs are cool, but they look kind of blurry. They're too busy. There's too much stuff going on. Like, imagine it's vines. There's too many vines, so you can't work out what it is. And instead of like editing it down and making them sharper, they look blurry and busy. And then the effect is that you can't see her and the dancers against the backdrop sometimes, both on the stage and on the screen. I was watching both of them. The concept of the video is really, of the staging is really cool. Thorn Queen on her thorn throne with her thorn 5 dancers. The styling, they've gone back to the first rehearsal one of the thorn tattoo dress. Yeah, just the LEDs let this down. Angelina's great, the dancers are great, the choreo looks cool. I like the vibe of it, it looks editorial. The LEDs just look cheap. They don't look clean enough, they aren't sharp or detailed enough. It just looks cluttered. And again, they don't pop against them. They should have like a halo effect where the girls are so that you can make them out against the backdrop. So still have the thorns, but maybe change the lighting of the LED behind so that you can still like very clearly delineate them. The real key moment is when the pyro happens at the end, because the pyro acts as a backdrop and you can see them clear. And that's when it's really nice, like, oh, okay, I couldn't see them earlier because there was no pyro, and now I can because there's pyro. And the pyro is acting as like this second background that you can discern them from. I don't know, I'm not getting winter vibes from this. I just feel like it's too squinty. You're like, what is that? I can't see. Where are they? Hey! What do you think about Austria? Because I missed some of it because I was doing...
It was really good.
Was it really good?
No, I thought it was really good.
Was it not lazy? Hey, wait there.
How are you feeling?
Hey! There's Oz and Laura Slavandik taking glamour photos for they got loop blindfolds. Okay, so yeah, Italy, just a little bit touch point. I think the resolutions turned up on this photo and just edit them down on Photoshop. I think actually could be fine. I think it's fixable, but they need to fix it. It's too busy. Okay, also I just spoke to Noosh. She's right there. She said that she liked Austria. Do you like Austria as well?
Yes.
Okay, everyone just come in and say you liked Austria.
This is like... He's on loop, darling.
I'm on loop.
He's on loop. We're about to flip
I liked
him.
loop. I liked it. Flip me. Flip me. Do it. One person. Do it on your own.
I drop you, even with a little finger.
Do it. You're strong enough. I believe in you. Yeah. Did you like Austria?
Yeah, staging. I'm just a little bit concerned vocally. It's very quiet on the mic.
Okay. It was quiet on the mic.
That's my
who's winning? Okay, so girly bop battle: Malta, Austria, Georgia.
Oh, Georgia by a mile.
Absolutely.
And plus, that's an angel number. Of course, it's good luck.
Is there space for the other two as well?
Malta, maybe. There's a shock one.
You know, there's 16th in the odds.
The shock one for me is actually Malta.
I thought Malta was brilliant.
But it was stunning.
Yeah.
Colleen needs to be louder, but we'll see tonight with that rehearsal. I'm going to get food. I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye. So that's the tea on Austria. I need to form my final opinion. Okay, next up we had Israel. Everything went fine here. I think that if they have a clean run in the semi-final 2, they may consider using the live tape for the final. Security here is crazy tight in normal spaces. For them it must be like insane. I would not be surprised if they filmed their live show with an audience on semi-final number 2 and then maybe decided that they were going to use the on tape for Saturday. Who knows, but yeah, security here is really crazy. Okay, 15th up we had Gote singing Ulvaham for Norway. Really beautiful, very exhilarating, dizzy, crazy, natural rock out staging. It's a deluxeified version of Melody Grand Prix. Really beautiful. I love the icy color palettes. We've lost the bars that come down on the screen. I was looking at the producer's screen and they aren't there. I was a little bit disappointed about that because I like that, but maybe they just didn't feel like it looked cool enough. But yeah, the energy's here. The performance is incredibly immaculate. I think that's the key element that's going to get this through to the final. Norway have a 6 qualification streak, so I think that they're just going to continue that. And then finally we have Joost Skyn from the Netherlands singing Europapa. Now this is super divisive. Now you know this is my favorite song this year, so I'm super biased. Crazy bias, I'm admitting that up front. I loved it. Did I love it as much that I would tweet about it being a winner? No, I very much didn't tweet about this being a winner on Twitter because I don't think it will be. The weird thing is that the music video is so expensive. It looks clean, sharp, really well directed. And the vibe they've gone from the stage is homemade, which is cute, but it's a weird choice to go from this very deluxe looking, high quality music video with lots of symmetry and these beautiful, expensive looking tableaus to this kind of like more Minecraft homemade, kind of like cut it out, made yourself on Windows 95, which is a vibe, but it's such a different vibe from the music video. A lot of people didn't like this, I'll be real. There's still some fun things, like we open up with his face on the LED, a very like stretched out version of his face. I like some of the choreography. Some people weren't mad on the energy from the dancers. I thought it looked fine. I love the ending, which is super beautiful. It's very pared back, just him with a black screen, with a close-up, and that's actually the recap as well. There's subtitles so you know what he's saying. I was super emotional during that bit. But again, this is my favorite song this year, so you've got to take that with a pinch of salt. I still think that this will win the semi-final, but in the final, I don't think it's going to win at this point, unless they're holding something back. They said that there's this thing that defies physics or something in it, or gravity, or this big moon landing thing. I didn't see it. Like, I thought everything was kind of fun and bouncy, but maybe they're decided that they want to hold back until the actual final show. But like, the Gavin part went crazy. I think the audience is gonna love this. Some of the jokes in it didn't land. There's like a loading screen that you couldn't really see on the actual TV when you're watching, and then you see it later on, and it didn't totally work. But overall, I just love the spirit. But I don't see this winning anymore. I don't think that the jury will be convinced by that, even with the very beautiful ending. I just don't think the whole package has that expensive luxury feel that the music video had. So yeah, a little bit disappointed from that, but I still love this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it live. And maybe there are a few secrets left that they're holding back. Okay, so that's what I thought about the 19 songs in semi-final number 1 dress rehearsal. I really got to emphasize these are my first opinions. I need to watch the show again in the press room to see what's on the screen so I don't miss anything, because I'm doing this, I'm tweeting the whole time, I'm not paying 100% attention, particularly to Czechia and Austria. I need to watch those through fully to get my final opinion. I want to see what Belgium looks like on screen. Those are the ones and I want to see what Netherlands looks on the screen as well. So those are the ones I haven't fully formed opinions on. But my winners for the day, I thought Malta were amazing. I thought San Marino were absolutely brilliant. Would really like them in the final. I gotta be honest, I think they deserve it. And I think if you do like this song, I think you should probably throw a couple of votes towards it. And I think that's Switzerland is definitely a contender to win. I thought it was super wow. Okay, I will do an updated qualifiers list after I've watched that jury rehearsal tonight. Thank you so much to Mark, Joe, Amelie, Emma and Neela for supporting me on Buy Me Coffee. If you want to support the channel, I have links to you in the description down below. And of course, thank you to all my patrons for patronizing me all around the world. But of course, thank you so much just for watching, and maybe leaving a like and maybe sharing the video. And thank you. Hope to see you in another Eurovision analysis video very soon. Goodbye. Blah.